Hello, it's Marina from the Butterfly Effect, and this is the fire signs reading for the next 7 to 14 days. Aries first, Leo, and then Sagittarius. It's a general reading, take what resonates. We've got a spirit animal card for each of you and an oracle card. I've got my fairy oracle deck, and I'm going to be clarifying with my Lenormand as well. So first up is Aries. Aries, you've got radical expansion with the groundhog spirit in reverse here. So the groundhog spirit says that there's something you're not letting go of, something that's past its sell by date, something that's already been done and dusted, but you're still hanging on to it. But radical expansion sort of suggests to me that, you know, this might be the week where you finally get to clear the desk. I'm really getting a real clear the desk feeling, but it seems to come about in a quite dramatic way. Because I've got that gnome down here. So firstly in this card, this is about living, and it's about being unapologetically yourself, basically. It's almost getting a permission slip from the universe to break free, to be a little bit wild. You know, I've got to say, with all that gnome down here, this is something that may come about with some sort of breakdown, because as much as he brings breakthroughs, it's usually after some sort of breakdown. So I can actually see someone actually having a complete and utter meltdown here, and that is actually what is maybe necessary to break you free from something you've been hanging on to or felt constrained by or uncomfortable around. Because when all that gnome comes in, he comes in with creative chaos. It's not just, you know, straightforward chaos. I mean, it can feel like that at the time for sure, because he is really tricky and he likes to trip us up and, you know, have us fall in our face so that we can at some point laugh at ourselves. He is someone who, if it's representative of a person, and this could be someone you're hanging on to, this would be someone who's unreliable. This would be somebody who, you know, likes to drink a lot. And there's a fresh page coming out here. There's literally like a fresh start, but there's something quite messy. This looks really messy in this radical expansion card to get through. So this is having the this is speaking up for yourself. This is having a voice. I mean, there are better ways to go about this, is what I'm going to say with all that gnome, because, you know, it can be like a drink-fueled psychotic break on the cards, which will ultimately maybe lead to the same outcome, but the getting there is risky. There's something unexpected, risky, or yeah. It is almost too risky. I don't know if this is something you have a great amount of control over with what's coming in here. And as I say, it may be something that you know, it could be like a job setting, and you've just been putting up with this environment and your boss and your colleagues day in, day out for years, and you then go in with a hangover and just have a complete meltdown, and then you never need to go back. It's something like that, Aries. It feels pretty dramatic, but we are left with the blank page. So I'm just going to clarify, just to try and like zoom it into the 3D and get some more specifics. So what is the that gnome from my Aries for the next 7-14 days? Why is all that gnome here for Aries? Yeah. The coffin card. So this is an ending. It can be a period of mourning. I mean, I do have my Master Maker at the base of the deck here, so for some of you this could relate to a broken relationship, a couple in separation, or that's what the ultimate outcome might be. But it's also shoddy workmanship. It's not working together particularly well. When the Master Maker's in reverse here, it's not getting on the same page. So there's some sort of ending here, and someone could have a bit of a breakdown following it, or just get incredibly drunk, and that's what might bring around the ending. Oh, that gnome in the coffin, Aries. Oh, that gnome in the coffin. Yeah, I do think with the fish here, I know that gnome, who is my drunken gnome, I do think there's alcohol involved here. And I mean, it might even be that someone deliberately gets drunk to have this conversation to end something they've been hanging on to. It's almost like there might be some Dutch courage required here. As I say, there are other better ways of going about this, is what I'm going to say, Aries, if this is sounding like you. I mean, it will ultimately result in a blank page, but there's, oh, I'm just going to say there's better ways of going about it. What's the blank page in store for Aries? I mean, this can be something to do with money and work. Yeah, so we get the blank page and we get the stork. So, you know, this might be an all's well that ends well. I mean, if you've been struggling to break free of something, you've been holding on to it, there is going to be some sort of catalyst that is going to create this radical expansion. It looks messy as hell, but it does seem that the outcome is going to be some positive change. Okay, Aries, that is your reading. Please like, subscribe if you haven't done already. And then I'm moving on to Leo. Leo, this is an interesting one. So you've got my new Lemuria deck as well. And this is Journey to Wholeness. And it's come with my Vulture Spirit in reverse. On this, I did first up get Dreamer's Disease. I think that's REM. I don't even think that's what it's called, but anyway, you can have a listen to the song. It might speak to you. Okay. Journey to Wholeness. This is about self-acceptance, unconditional love, soul fragments returning to yourself. In this card, she's clearly very beautiful, but when the artist did draw her, initially she was really disturbed by her, and it took a good few days for her to get to this final outcome, because she's a hybrid. She's actually an octopus. She's got octopus arms. So she did eventually turn out to be really beautiful, but at first it was actually quite a disturbing image that the artist created. Now, the hybrids go back to Atlantis, if you buy into that. Obviously it's a Lemurian deck here, and they do say that it was the Atlanteans' desire to combine humans with animals. This is where we say that, you know, the Greek mythology is actually history. You know, when we look at our centaurs, for example, they were almost so advanced that they got a bit bored and started messing around with stuff that they shouldn't have, which eventually saw the demise of Atlantis, messing with universal law here. So she's coming through as a hybrid, basically, and that would be someone who doesn't necessarily fit in, someone who is uncomfortable sometimes even in their own skin, or someone who feels a bit of an outcast. Yeah. This is also putting off goals until the situation is just right. There's a feeling of procrastination around this. This is, you know, I'll do this when, I don't know, I have this job, or I have my hair done, or I lose a stone, or, you know, I get this element in my life right. There's a feeling of delaying here, but the actual root of it is that someone actually doesn't feel particularly confident just now, or are in some way uncomfortable in their own skin. So there's a lot of dreaming going on. There may be quite a bit of shadow work going on, but there's not an actual lot of external physical manifestation. But it is very much a card of healing, and it's about integration, self-acceptance, just as you are, not when this has happened and that's happened, you know. Just as you are right now. Because Vulture, when he's in reverse, this is feeling that something's been a bit of a waste of time and you haven't really gained anything from it. But it also is about trying to run away or deny something that's happened in our past, or a mistake that we've made. So this is telling you that you need to let any sort of grief or anger move through you so that it doesn't, you know, overcome you. And that whatever you've experienced, it has in some way been a gift. You just need to look a little bit harder to see what that gift might have been. I do feel someone is very uncomfortable here. I am getting that. Now I do have the Soul Shrinker and Tahom the Poet. So, you know, if you're not dealing with anyone else, these could be two sides of your personality. And this is the shadow work that you're currently working on. This is you trying to merge two very different energies. The Tahom is he's a poet, he's a writer, he is adolescent and loving, and yeah, he's a lovesick Romeo. He doesn't do much, he doesn't take any action, he will view from afar and, you know, write poetry and songs and music and dream, the dreamer's disease. And the other side of this is coming through as a completely opposite energy, and this is the Soul Shrinker, and he's critical and maliciously spoken. He can be a bit of a gossip. He's someone who belittles others to make themselves feel better. Completely different energies. Now this might be somebody that you're dealing with. This is maybe someone who has, with the Soul Shrinker, someone who can talk you down, make you feel really bad about yourself, that you're not quite good enough, you're not good looking enough, you're not the right weight, you're not the right age. It could be something like that. Or this could be someone who just has polar opposite natures within themselves, and they're just trying to bring them into balance. So Leo, let me just have a wee look what the Soul Shrinker is all about for Leo. The Tower. I really get, this is like isolation. This is someone who's aloof, can be arrogant, as I say, can be mean, dominant, controlling. This is maybe someone that's, I feel that this is somebody who's really knocked your confidence. Show me Tahom for Leo. What is Tahom here? Yeah, there's the whip. Bloody hell. This is abusive. This is like an abusive person. Someone who speaks nasty to you. Someone who likes to punish you. Leo. This is like, you know, somebody 1 minute who, you know, is really flattering, is all over you like a rash, loving on you, and the next minute rip your head off. To talk absolute shit to you, make you feel like nothing. And it is... It's a bit of a messy one, Leo. Show me some Soul Shrinker. Justice in the Chariot. It can be a Libra, can be a Cancer, but the justice here is moving on. Yeah. There will be eventual success here, but it's moving away from whatever this is. If this represents a person for you, someone who does make you feel utterly unworthy or not good enough and is mean in their speech, then there's a little bit of good luck coming in here, and that's going to allow you to move on from that. Okay, next up we have Sagittarius. I don't understand why my butterflies, but it's in reverse here. I think there's some sort of reluctance here, Sagittarius, but this is actually a beautiful combination. When the strange Valentine comes up, love is strange. This is like cosmic help that's coming in with regards specifically to your love life. It is usually good news. It can suggest there's a new beautiful phase coming in. It's, if you're single in particular. I got Baby Jane on this. And with the butterfly on spirit in reverse here, this is like not really wanting to, you know, come out of your cocoon. You might be sort of hiding away just now, you know, bedding down for the winter. But it can also mean that you don't really want to change. And I think what's not changing here, because with this card, this is saying that the person who is meant for you is not your type. And you might not recognize them at first. In actual fact, you may even reject them because they're not what you expect. But there is a transformation required here. And you're going to be faced with a choice as to what you do about that. So you can struggle with, you know, your current conditions, whatever they may be, or you can surrender and, you know, transform. Because I almost sort of get the feeling that the universe having a bit of a giggle with you. It's so funny because I've got Penelope Dreamweaver, who's fantastic, with Lace the Moon's daughter. I love this combination. So, well, obviously Penelope is really just about your dreams. It's not necessarily making your dreams come true, but she is about psychic dreams and learning to dream again. She can be, it's what's happening in the dream space, really. But with this combination, laced is the key, because laced is one of the guards of the passages between the other worlds, between the worlds. She's at the gate of revelation. She's obviously all lit up here, and she'll leave little you know, neon footprints for you to follow. It's all a fantastic riddle, and you have to work it out. She uses a lot of symbology, particularly in dreams, that you need to be able to fathom, and she thinks it's all hilarious. So this can be about random events starting to make sense, following your intuition and hunches, and being conscious that you're doing that, and then getting the result. Yeah. I just sort of feel that the insights you might get, you might even see your future partner in your dreams, and for some reason you feel a bit uncomfortable. You don't really want to change. You have a very fixed perspective as to what your future is going to look like, who it's going to involve, that sort of thing. And this is kind of suggesting you need to open your mind a wee bit. I think you might have got it wrong. So let's see what Penelope Dreamweaver is going to say. We'll pop this back in. Get a fuller picture. I did notice my air signs reading the story kind of seemed to run in that direction. Not getting it quite so clear now, but it might make sense for some of you. I'm just conscious that Tahom is looking over at this, you know. Tahom's an absolute sweetheart. Penelope Dreamweaver for Sagittarius. What's Penelope Dreamweaver got for Sagittarius? The Mask. Penelope Dreamweaver. This is what's being shown to you in your dreams. These are like dream messages. Someone is wearing a mask. Someone's not who you think you are, or you're not recognizing them for who they are. Show me laced. What's laced got to say to Sagittarius? Gosh, the book again. I'm bloody getting sick of saying the book. Constant secrets. This can be that someone you don't know, but the book doesn't necessarily mean there's some sort of secret, but there's a kind of passion, ignition here that's either a secret or it's just not known to you. I think your vision is blurred, is what I'm saying, Sagittarius, and I think this is going to be a week where you really need to tune into your dreams, and you really need to pay attention to all events that happen. I'm not just talking about main events. You have to be just really conscious of everything around you, you know. not to the point you become like completely paranoid that everything is speaking to you. You know, you've got, there's some sort of middle ground there. Okay, I'm trying to think of an example. And so last week, someone bumped into the back of me in my car, and I said to my daughter, that's not good, because that came out of the blue. As much as I saw the girl reading her phone at the time, I was expecting something kind of out the blue, you know, and that's what happened. It was two events, both incredibly costly, and also really helpful, because on one of the days when I got in the car, what I was listening to, it was actually saying, listen to your hunch, you'll hear a screeching, and my car started to do just that. And it transpired that all my brakes were about to fail, and if I had to apply them with any pressure, I would have had no brakes. And there was things going on with the car. I got the chariot in reverse that week with, you know, there was loads of signs, and they're really small, but they amount to something. And I think this is what this is trying to tell you. There's something you're not seeing, Sagittarius. It may just come through your dream space, but it will, with laced here, also be loads of little, you know, synchronicities and hunches and intuitive nudges. There is something unknown to you, and you might get a bit of a revelation here. But in terms of, if you're single and looking for love, the person that you are envisaging your future with is not at all who's coming your way. So you just need to get your head around that. Just show me what's in the book. The bouquet. It's a beautiful card. This is a gift about surprise, or a gift about surprise. It could be a surprise gift. It's happiness, it's beauty, it's an invitation, it's pleasure. So, you know, I think you just need to open your mind a little bit, Sagittarius, because there's something really lovely here. And I've got a feeling you might miss it because you're all kind of cocooned in there and very fixed on the path that you're heading towards. Okay, guys, that's your reading. I don't really think I need to take any advice for that. But, yeah, that's good. Have a good week. I'll talk to you soon.